Next up, Pam Kramer, who's the head coach for the Rocky Mountain Women's Lacrosse Program, a squad that's doing very well here in this late spring 21 season, and your perspective on why you're having success so far this year.
Well, we split to 4A this year, so that's the first time we've been in a different division as the top tier Colorado teams. But it's been really awesome because we have started to get youth girls coming up from 8th grade coming in and just having a much higher lacrosse IQ than ever before in Northern Colorado. So our team is comprised mostly of freshmen and sophomores. We only have 3 seniors, and so it's a really young program. But the girls who are on it, they are really intense players and really focused players. And as I said, the lacrosse IQ is significantly higher than we've ever had before. So I think that's the main difference. We've always had athletic girls, but now we have athletic girls who know the sport really well and love it. And so our program is completely different than it has been in previous years.
Yeah. And it seems like you're sensitive to that too, as an ambassador for the sport here in Colorado. Is you're in a unique situation, right? You and Thompson Valley represent really all of Northern Colorado for your sport. So not only is what you're doing this year, which you have an excellent record, you're very relevant in the postseason coming up, but it also is what you represent in terms of the growth itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We started the program 5 years ago, and from 2017, we split with Thompson Valley. They used to be the only team here, and we started a program. It's comprised of all 4 Fort Collins high schools, as well as Windsor, and we've even had someone from Greeley. And pretty much we're the 2, schools that you can choose from to play. And that's why our away games, we always have to travel pretty far because we're it for the sport. But the nice thing is that both teams are growing rapidly in terms of the skill level. I know Thompson Valley is a great competitor now. They have a lot of girls who play club as well. So both teams are kind of a nice representation of the growth of the sport in this area. When we first started 5 years ago, we had a handful of girls who, had played, but our team was made of a lot of girls who just learned in 9th grade. And so now we're getting girls who have been playing for, since 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. And that's kind of the big difference in our, position in terms of how we are competing with the top tier teams in 4A right now.
I think of your midfielder, Madison Santini, who's so very popular and very talented. I can guarantee you this, the people elsewhere beyond Northern Colorado are aware of her. She's part of your success right now. Why is she so good?
Absolutely. Santini, she does play club as well. So she plays year-round lacrosse. She's just an athlete. She's a phenomenal volleyball player as well. And she's, the type of player as a coach, when she walks on the field and you see her starting to play, you're like, oh yes, like, we've got one of those, like just a beautiful, graceful athlete. She's who the girls look to on the field at any given time on attack. She often does our draws, not always, and she's the girl who is always 100% going, always 100% effort, and with that effort she's always at the ball and she generally gets it.
What about other players who are, the impact leaders for a Rocky squad that's playing well?
Well, one reason that Madison Santini has been successful in the midfield is like her 2 counterparts on the circle. So we have a freshman and a sophomore. And so Lainey Nesbitt and Kendall, they are both on the circle. Traditionally to start, we mix things up a lot, but the 3 of them are fantastic at the draw. And so with the help of those 2 on the circle, we are often, starting off with the ball with the possession, and our transition with those 3 is awesome. And so, starting off from the draw, getting it up on attack, it starts with the draw from Santini, but it is really important that Lainey and Kendall get the ball, from that. So those 2 are really, really important in our full field really, on attack and defense. And then down, once we get on attack, we've got a freshman who's actually our second leader in points. Her name is Layla Ronaldez, and she is great behind the goal. She does crease rolling, left, right, doesn't matter what hand. She's fearless, even though she's freshman. She doesn't care. She's this short, cute little girl. And so I think she was kind of surprising some of those teams that didn't know about her. And so she ended up starting to get face guarded as well. So that was a challenge, but luckily we have quite a few attack women on the field to help her, and Santini and Laney. We have her name's Cammie Shackett, and she is a sophomore as well. She is one of those players. I told her dad, I feel like warm inside when she gets the ball. Like, I know whatever she does, it's going to be a smart play. She's a very, very smart player. Midfield, attack, defense, wherever I put her, doesn't matter. She's good. So those are kind of our glue up front. And then defense, we have a senior who's leading the way, Cammie Campbell. She's a graduate now, I guess, right? And she is one of the players. She does not play club, but she's just really dedicated. She's hardworking. She and highly coachable, and she's kind of been like the, our defensive rock. It's just such a great, like, dedicated group of girls this year, and you have to be if you're playing in the middle of the summer in 100-degree weather when school's out and all your friends are off on vacation. To kind of still be dedicated to this team is really a kind of a testament to them, I think.
Yeah, no question that, this late spring rolling into June, we're going to finish up near July in the championships. It's odd, right? And, if we stick with those are all pandemic issues, right? The decision makers have created that. But one thing that was already going to be in place despite any pandemic issues was a split into two classifications. You've been competing in Class 4A as a 4A squad. So what are your impressions now that you've kind of gone through the regular season doing that? It's new.
Yeah. I really prefer, I think it's great because when we were in the, combined one division for all of Colorado, there's the teams, like the top 10 teams in 5A are just phenomenal. And then 10 to 20, that's about where we were, are really, really good. And so it's nice, like, instead of having these games that are either 20-0 in your favor or 0-20 not in your favor, we're having competitive games that are, decided by one goal or two goals or three goals, which, in lacrosse is nothing. And which, we've had, I think, a couple of those games. I think Conifer, we won by 3, but we were down the whole game. Golden, we lost by 1, but it was neck and neck the whole time. And so it's really, it's nice to be able to play equal lacrosse as opposed to very unequal lacrosse. And there's some really good teams in 4A, which is fun.
Yeah, and offers an opportunity, and this is where it comes from my perspective, to become aware of maybe some different programs, different players, right? Like in your classification now, look just within your league. Yeah. I mean, Green Mountain, Golden, Evergreen, Rocky, and then beyond, Aspen, Grand Junction's undefeated. It offers a chance for us to become aware of such a thing. When I bounce off those names in Class 4A, realistically, if we say Final Four, the semifinals, how many 4A teams do you think have an opportunity to realistically have a chance and belief to go into the semifinals?
I mean, I have my eye on a few teams that I definitely think I think the top 7 teams have a realistic chance to be, 7 or 8 teams have a realistic chance to be in the semifinals. To me, Evergreen, they're really a really good team. And they definitely handed it to us when we played.
That's why I nod my head. Yeah,
Yeah. Evergreen is a good team, and I believe that Aspen is a very good team as well. I haven't we haven't played them, but just kind of I've been watching them, through the course of the season, and I think that they will be a good team. One of the teams to beat for sure. Grand Junction is interesting to me because in previous years they have not been particularly strong. And I don't know that they play any teams that are particularly strong. So it's interesting. They have an undefeated record, but as I see it, I would be more afraid of Aspen and Evergreen in any given game.
Yeah. And now we get the fun part of a 4A postseason where you don't know, we're about to find out. Right?
I think it's all going to be really exciting and fun.